It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz program here in the Prince George's Schools where we test science IQs. Test your own and play along with us today. Let's meet today's teams. First from Cherokee Lane Elementary School, would you please welcome Favor Wokwe, Abhinav Samuel, and Owen Rinberg. And from James Harrison Elementary School, would you please welcome Ebenezer Adoro, Ishmael Esteva, and Mambo Desang. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to the difficulty of the question, with the easier questions there on the left worth 5 and 10, tougher ones 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds, one of these talented, good-looking teams will come back to play Hillcrest Heights for the chance to move on to this year's semifinals in the elementary school competition. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Abhinav, try that buzzer for me. That's a group push over there. Good luck to you, Owen, and to Favor. And Ishmael, try the green teams. All right, looks like they're ready and raring to go too, you and Mambo and Ebenezer. And we've got some people coming back, playing again for the second time, so there's some experience over there. We're going to have a good game. Let's go alphabetically C before J, so Cherokee Lane and Abhinav. Let's do it.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, Pinocchio is known for a long nose. The late actor Jimmy Durante for a bulbous nose. And this animal is best known for an incandescent nose. That would be Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Incandescent means lighted up. Try again, green. Try again, red, because we were starting with, let's flip that to the red side for me, please, Mark. Thank you.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, it was hard to find whipped cream at the store recently because there was a national shortage of nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is also an anesthetic that goes by what funny name when the dentist uses it? Ishmael.
Laughing gas?
Laughing gas, absolutely right. Boy, you were getting it from both sides. Mambo and Ebenezer both knew that one. Try again, green.
Take green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, there is actually a kind of redwood tree that is albino. It's albino because it is lacking what plant pigment? Cherokee Lane?
Roots.
What?
Roots?
Not roots. No, what plant pigment is missing if a redwood tree is an albino?
Pass it to Ebenezer.
Chlorophyll?
You got that right, young man. Chlorophyll, the green pigment that gives the greenness to plants. And that redwood is parasitic, kind of a vampire as a result. It can't make its own food. All right, Harrison.
Science Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, on your smartphone, there is an app you can download called My Shake. It is a miniature version of this kind of instrument that detects earthquakes. We're talking about a seismometer. A seismometer detects earthquakes. Go again, green.
Science Potpourri for 5 points, please.
Potpourri for?
5 points.
5 points. If you were a good boy and a good girl, Santa Claus would not leave a lump of what fossil fuel in your stocking, James Harrison?
Coal.
Yeah, he didn't give you a lump of coal. And if you got one, I don't want to know about it. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5 points.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, after an earthquake occurs, you could point the finger at Mother Nature and say, it's your what? Harrison?
Fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. Appreciate the humor. Go green.
Take body system for 10 points.
Body system for 10, did you say?
Yes.
Yes. All right, here you go. Teams, in this kind of bank, there are lots of liquid assets, but they do not accrue any interest. What kind of bank am I talking about? Cherokee Lane. What you got?
What do you got?
Give me something. All right, no answer. Don't ring in unless you have an idea. Keep in mind this is body systems. This kind of bank has a lot of liquid assets, but you never accumulate any interest.
Food banks.
A blood bank. A blood bank. Liquid assets. That's what we were hoping you would make the connection to. Try again, Green.
Take zoo parade for 10 points.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, a pollywog is another name for one of these in the development, the metamorphosis of a bullfrog. A pollywog is another name for a what?
Tadpole.
Tadpole, that's right. Okay, green. Nicely done. Let's go.
Let's get green things for 5 points.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, you know that the 3 wise men brought gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh, I never knew what that was. They are both these kinds of liquids that come out of the bark of trees.
Sap.
Sap, yeah, it's a kind of sap or resin. Very valuable at one time. Go.
Take science potpourri for 10 points.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, baseball's Hall of Fame is about to admit, for the first time ever, ball players that injected these bodybuilding chemicals. Harrison?
Steroids.
Steroids, yeah. Some of them are very close in the voting. Come on, guys. Ring the bell if you have an idea. Okay? Green.
Dateline science for 20 points, please.
Wow, Dateline Science for 20 points. Teams, at a state park in West Virginia, they just put a time capsule into the ground. They won't open it until the year 2061, when this famous comet comes back around that we can see. Harrison, name the comet.
Pass it to Ebenezer.
You bet.
The Achilles comet?
Not the Achilles, no. I can understand why you said that. Come on, Cherokee Lane, you need some points. Name the comet. It's Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet. All right, the buzzer says our first round is over. Let's check that score. Cherokee Lane 50, James Harrison 105. We'll be back with that second round in just a moment. Don't go away. We welcome you back to Science. Well, thank you for spending part of your day with us. Here we are in our 31st year in Prince George's County Public Schools with Science Bowl, and we're always thrilled to see young people like the 6 we have here who know so much science and are just good players. They're excellent students. Let's introduce them to you. Let's go to Cherokee Lane, and we welcome back Abhinav, who was here last year. Nice to see you, young man. You're a 6th grader, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And tell me about your school. Where is Cherokee Lane?
Cherokee Lane is in Adelphi, Maryland.
Yeah, and it's well hidden back there. It's a hidden treasure, a diamond in the rough, if you will. And who's your principal?
Miss Hardy.
Wonderful. And she's definitely behind you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Hoffner and Miss St. John.
They're both here, yes. And I was speaking this morning, and they wanted to make sure that everything was in line for you to be here today. So thank you both for all of your work. Any alternates on your team? What are their first names?
Kaylee.
That's all. Okay. Bring her out in just a few moments here. I always like to ask schools, as you know, what it is that they like to brag about. So when you tell people you go to Cherokee Lane and you puff your chest out, what do you tell them about your school?
My school, they're always into being safe, the responsibilities of being a student in Cherokee Lane. The best thing is everything that you do counts. Instead of just not paying attention to the safety rules and everything, you are on them. the safety rules.
And boy, that's a
Have to be
very
safe.
good lesson, Abhinav. Thanks for sharing that, because, you know, in life you're always on. Everything you do is being judged and people are looking at. So, you know, it's good that you're getting into that habit. You're a very good student. You're a very good captain, and I remember you from last year. It's so nice to have you back. And what are your aspirations? What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a cardiologist.
Yes, and you told me that once before, and you'll be a great doctor. You absolutely
you.
will. You're welcome. Oh, and nice to have you here. Tell us why you wanted to be on this show.
I wanted to be on this show because I like science and my teachers offered me a chance to be on it.
And I'm so glad you took that chance, because you never know what you can do unless you try. So you're here, and you know, the first half didn't go so well. You say, all right, well, listen, the last time I did this, never. You know, give me a break. So in the second half, do a little better. You know, you're gonna shine through. What do you want to do someday, Owen?
I want to be a baker or a nuclear physicist.
That's right. And the young man, I talked to him earlier, and he bakes cakes and cinnamon swirls. And I said, "You bring any today?" And he said, "Nah, I could have given him some extra points." You know, obviously you're a good student, and nice to have you here. Favor, nice to have you with us. Tell us about your plans for the future.
I want to be a pediatrician because I like to take care of kids.
Yeah, and you got 2 kids at home, right? Your younger siblings, and I'm sure they look up to you. You're a role model. You got to do the right stuff. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to play soccer.
Yeah, that's great. So it's good to be outside, exercise your body and exercise your mind both. Good player. James Harrison, nice to have you guys here. Those blue shirts, I like those, just like I like the white shirts over here at Cherokee Lane. Tell us about James Harrison. I know it's up in Laurel. It's up there right off Route 197 and Route 1. And who's your principal?
Dr. Williams.
Wonderful. She's out there. Is it Dr. Williams is a woman, yes?
Yes.
Yes. She is out there rooting for you. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Howell and Mrs. McGee Cox.
Wonderful. They're both here, and we'll bring them both out. And thank you for all the work you've done to get this team ready. And Ishmael, nice to have you back again as well. You're very comfortable in that set. You were an alternate before,
Yes.
so you really have that experience, and now you're on set. You have to feel good about yourself, because we feel good about it. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I either want to be a chemical engineer or a forensic scientist.
Wow. So you've actually they kind of go together, you know, chemistry, and I know you have a chemistry set. You like to experiment with chemicals at home, and he does it safely, because I did check on that. And tell me about James Harrison. What do you like about that school? Why do you like going there?
I like it because it has like such a friendly environment.
Yeah, boy, if it's not friendly, you're never going to want to go. You want teachers that you know care about you and joke around once in a while, but are serious about what they do. Nice to have you back. Mambo, nice to have you back as well.
Thank
Young lady, she wants to be thinking about journalism. I know you like to write, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of things do you write?
Well, I write about anything that inspires me, because I can get inspired by a piece of art or something that I've heard before or a show that I've seen.
Yes, absolutely right. They call those prompts sometimes. You know, you see something, hey, write about this, write about that. It's like improv when actors have to get up and do something. Same with writing, and that really tests your mettle. You have some other careers in mind, though, don't you?
Yes, I either want to have a career in business or health.
More health, yeah. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different interests out there, and you're obviously a talented young lady. You're going to be successful. Your second time here proves that. You're welcome. Ebenezer, nice to have you with us. You know an awful lot about science. How do you know so much?
Well, just because, like, usually science, it relates, since of the experiments, it relates to stuff like you learn in the outside world, like even at your house watching TV or a show. Like, you can, when you're on the science bowl, some of the questions, you can go back to that, and you said you heard that somewhere.
Absolutely right. The world is interconnected, isn't it? And that internet, you know, you can go on, you can find things so quickly, and yeah, you find out some amazing interrelationships there. What do you want to do someday, Ebenezer?
I still don't know, but there's a lot of time to discover, so.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, you've got a lot of life left, and a lot of things, and you never know who you're going to meet or what opportunities come your way that may influence you. It will influence you. Let's get back to our game. Score Harrison 105, Cherokee Lane at 50. Lots of points to give away yet. Last correct answer came from Ishmael. So start us out on round 2, young man.
I take green things for 15 points.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, hardwood as opposed to softwood comes from deciduous trees like oaks and maples. But softwood comes from these kinds of trees like firs and pines.
Evergreens?
Another name.
Carnivorous?
Say it again.
Carnivorous?
Not quite, not quite. Cherokee Lane, the opposite of deciduous trees, where hardwood comes from, are softwood producing trees known as these. What you got?
Carnivorous?
Say it again.
Carnivorous?
No, you're both not mispronouncing it. It's called, they're conifers, coniferous. You were talking about meat-eating animals, carnivorous there, and this was not quite. No points. Go green.
Take Zoo Parade for 15 points.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, there is a new book. It's a bestseller called The Soul of This Eight-Legged Cephalopod that is the most, Abinoff?
Spider?
Not a spider, no. James Harrison, this new book called The Soul of This Eight-Legged Cephalopod that is the most intelligent of the invertebrates.
I'll pass it to Ebenezer.
Yes, sir.
Octopus?
You got that right. The soul of the octopus, eight-legged, absolutely. You were thinking of spiders having 8 legs, but cephalopod, yeah, that talks about the big head on that creature. Nicely done, Ebenezer. Go green.
I'll take Body Systems for 15 points.
Body systems are 15 points. Teams, we're talking opposites here. Let's see how your word power is. The opposite of saturated is unsaturated. The opposite of antibiotic is biotic. And the opposite of hydrated is this.
Dehydrated.
Dehydrated, that's right. There's the cook. He knows all about that. Good. Red, go.
Science Potpourri for 25.
Science Potpourri for 25. Question is as follows. Teams, back in 1815, they called it the year without a summer. That's because a volcano by the name of Mount Tambora ejected so much dirt and rock into this part of the atmosphere that it blocked out the sun. What layer of the atmosphere for 25 points was littered with rock and debris? 25 points, Cherokee Lane.
Ozone layer.
Ooh, not the ozone layer. Good try. What layer of the atmosphere was all of that debris floating around in? James Harrison gets the chance for 25 points. What you got?
Pass it to Mambo.
Mambo.
Stratosphere?
Say it again.
The stratosphere?
You got that for 25 points. Yes, indeed. Stratosphere it is. Well done. Go green.
Take Dateline Science for 15 points.
Dateline Science, 15 points. Teams, there's a new movie out called Hidden Figures, all about African American women back in the early 1960s who helped this space agency. Harrison.
Pass it to Mambo.
NASA?
NASA, absolutely right. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, they did the calculations. They were the human computers that got our first astronauts into space and orbiting the Earth. Green, nicely done.
Science Potpourri for 15 points.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, please turn the green light out over there if you would. All right, for 15 points in Science Potpourri. Teams, if light can't go through something, it is opaque. If it can kind of get through, it's translucent. If it can go all the way through, it's known as this.
Translucent.
No, I just said that. I just said that. James Harrison, if something is not opaque or translucent, if light can go completely through it, it's known as this.
Transparent.
Transparent is what I want. Absolutely. Turn the red light out and we'll go to green for a choice.
Let's get physical for 15 points.
Get physical for 15 points. All right, teams. If you know the periodic table, there are all kinds of elements up there. There's a column of noble gases: argon, krypton, neon, radon. The other one is xenon. I'll give you 15 points if you can spell it. Cherokee Lane, xenon. Spell it.
Z-E-N-O-N.
You had a coach over there, Owen. Not quite. Not quite. James Harrison, for 15 points, spell the chemical element with the symbol xenon. Spell xenon.
I'll pass it to Mambo.
You may.
Z-E-N-O-N.
That's just what Ivanov said. It's X-E-N-O-N. Try again, Green.
I'll take Dayline Science for 10 points.
Dayline Science for 10 points. Teams, a tropical fish that was recently named for President Obama was appropriately so, because it was found in the Pacific Ocean near what state where Obama? Abhinav?
Pacific.
No. James Harrison? Tropical fish, named for President Obama. It was properly done. It was appropriate because the fish was found in the Pacific Ocean near what state where Obama is from?
Hawaii.
Hawaii is right. Yes, go green.
I'll take Zoo Parade for 20 points.
Zoo Parade for 20. Team's the oldest living animal on Earth. It is 4,500 years old. Is found in the sea. It's the black version of this that comes in brain, elkhorn, and staghorn varieties. Coral. Go green.
I'll take Body Systems for 20 points.
Body Systems for 20 points. Teams, if your dentist is a periodontist, he's concerned about your gums. If he's an endodontist, he's going to do a root canal. And if your dentist is an orthodontist, he's going to do this. Harrison?
Opposite to Mambo?
Yep.
Your teeth?
What's he going to do?
He's gonna give you braces?
Yeah, he's going to give you braces. He's going to try to straighten those teeth. Good. Green.
Let's get physical for 20 points.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, there are four states of matter. Solid, liquid, gas, and this one that is also the name of, yes, James Harrison. Plasma. Yeah, I was going to say the same name as the liquid part of your blood. Nicely done. Go.
I'll take green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, on the underside of a leaf, let's turn the green light out, please. Green light out. Thanks. Okay, Harrison, this is green things for 25 points. On the underside of a leaf are tiny openings that are known as this that let gas come in and out of a leaf. Cherokee Lane. What you got?
Stem.
Not stem, good try. You know what those openings are on the undersides of leaves?
Can you repeat the question?
I sure can. These openings on the undersides of leaves permit gases to go in and out of the plant. They're called stomates or stomata. That's a tough question. Go again, Green.
I'll take Zoo Parade for 25 points.
Zoo Parade for 25 points is a visual question. Everybody look at the monitor, please. During the Olympics in Rio in 2016, the Olympic golfers went, huh? All over the golf courses were these big capybaras running around.
Gophers?
No, not gophers. No, the question, Cherokee Lane, is these giants, these capybaras, are the biggest members of what order of mammals?
No, not amphibian.
Since it looks like a big rat, the answer is rodents. It is the world's biggest rodent. Try again, Green.
Let's get physical for 25 points.
Get physical for 25. All right, teams. You all know what dry ice is? Solid carbon dioxide. You'll never see a puddle next to dry ice because it never melts. It goes right from a solid to a gas. Worth 25 points. Earn them.
Condensation. Sublimation.
Sublimation. That's just what I wanted to hear. Nicely done. Thank you, Ebenezer. Sublimation it is. Green.
I'll take Body Systems for 25 points.
Body Systems for 25. All right, teams. If because of injury somebody cannot breathe through their nose or their mouth, a doctor on an emergency basis will make a hole in this body part to get air into your lungs.
Your esophagus?
James Harrison, what is it?
Your esophagus?
No. Cherokee Lane, a hole in your what to get air into your lungs if you can't take it in by your nose or your mouth? Your windpipe or your trachea, called a tracheotomy. Okay, 3 questions left. Go Green.
Dateline science for 25 points.
Dateline science for 25. Visual question. Everybody look at that monitor. Who is it? First American who orbited the Earth, recently died, was a former U.S. Senator. Cherokee Lane.
John.
Who is he?
John Gill.
No, good try. James Harrison. Who is he? First American to orbit the Earth. Former U.S. Senator. Flew aboard a space shuttle at age 77. That's John Glenn. John Glenn. All right, the buzzer says our game is over. We'll be back with that wrap up. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Science Bowl. We certainly did here. Some of those questions were tough, but we had some tough competitors today. We're proud of all of them. Our final tally today is Cherokee Lane 65, James Harrison 250. What a game you guys played. Let's see some smiles. Ishmael hasn't smiled the whole day. Ebenezer, Ishmael, Mambo, Ryan back there, he's all smiles. And their sponsors at James Harrison, Miss Howell, Miss McGee Cox, and their principals here, Dr. Williams, and I know how proud she is of this team. And Cherokee Lane, let's see some big smiles over here. You guys never gave up. That's it, Owen. Come on, act for me. Out in favor. Nice job having you here today. And Kaylee, thanks for being part of this team. And our sponsors here, Ms. Hoffman, Ms. St. Jean, thank you for doing this. We loved having Cherokee Lane here. Now, he's smiling, almost. Thanks for being here. I'm Dave Zarin. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.